Can you read everything I've given you and understand it before I ask you the next question?
In the creative fields, I think there is such an interesting expansion there of possibilities.
You're just a human being natural and knowing that the patterns already exist in your nature.
Destruction is a part of creation, and creation is a part of destruction. And, people are going down the kind of fear path.
Hey, it's Ronsley. Welcome, you AI geek, to Amplify AI. Consider this podcast your digital compass for you, the business leader wanting to use artificial intelligence ethically and in alignment with your brand's identity to achieve your business goals. Leading and running a business in the world of AI is like solving a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. But this podcast and I are here to make that easy. Every episode is a masterclass in unlocking techniques for using AI as a business leader, founder, owner. Thanks for being here. Let's learn.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Ronsley, and this is part 3 of my amazing conversation with the amazing Kylie Ryan, who is a performance coach and leadership consultant, and she helps high-performing individuals and entrepreneurs show up purposefully for their mission. She is well known in the industry for being a coach of the highest order. If you haven't checked out the previous 2, go listen to that. We talk about some very deep things around intelligence and artificial intelligence that I think you should pay attention to. In this episode, we are covering the idea of exploring the different expansive potential of artificial intelligence and the creative fields and how it is democratizing creativity. We have this talk about this discussion on the practical uses of artificial intelligence in graphics design and its impact on project efficiency. We have this conversation about the role of AI in content creation, including social media, and we talk about a personal experiment in showcasing AI's capability in planning and marketing a book launch, which I think you should listen to because the things that it can do is absolutely insane. So come join me. Let's learn. What are your perceptions of artificial intelligence and the way you're seeing people using it and the narrative out there?
It's interesting because my partner, he runs a graphic design agency, and so he's using it a lot in terms of just the native features that are in, I don't know, Photoshop and whatever, and all of the different software tools that he's using. And some of those, like just simple tools like, oh, how to expand a photo. And it's just like drag and drop and it's just expanded the photo. It's like, whoa, this has just saved me like 2 days worth of work in like 1 second.
Yeah.
So, in the creative fields, I think there is such an interesting expansion there of possibilities and potential of people to be able to shorten the gap between idea and the manifestation of that idea. I think that's really exciting because that kind of allows for the democratization of creative potential, really. It's like what you need then is a great idea, and then your ability to execute on that idea is rapidly accelerated. So that's one of the pieces that's kind of most prevalent around me. Obviously, I see lots of people in the entrepreneur space doing the chat GPT, like Facebook posts, social media posts, like that type of thing. And just the kind of ease of that, which is probably at the early adopter stage of, oh, I don't even know what this does, but I'm just kind of dipping my toe in and getting to know what it does. And I'm probably at that stage in terms of like barely even scratching the surface of what is actually available and what it's capable of. That's kind of what I'm seeing around me in terms of how people are interacting. I see there's some interesting pieces in, our mate Tux was talking about someone saying, oh, I wrote a book with AI and just talking into my phone, like on the drive home, who wants the book? And the kind of sense that, well, is it actually a good book? Is this actually going to be of any value? And that kind of skepticism around that. And I think there's value in that, but there's value in the skepticism and there's value in the ability to execute your ideas and just get something out, because I think you've been the one, Rons, that's talked to me more about utilizing AI more as a thinking partner and for ideation and for elaborating on your ideas and those types of things. And that's really interesting to start to expand on ideas. And I use spiral dynamics a lot in my work. And so I was like, oh, playing around the other day going, oh, so, expand on me for spiral dynamics and cross-reference this with levels of consciousness and cross-reference this with all of these other models and seeing what it came up with, which was fascinating to me that it missed one of the memes. And I was like, what about orange meme? I was like, oh, sorry. rewrote it. I was like, oh, that's fascinating that it missed it. And then fascinating that it apologized and then put it back in. So it, missed the data and then corrected itself when I corrected it. But if I didn't know to correct it, I would have missed a whole chunk of information because it didn't give me the actual accurate thing. And I was like, oh, that's fascinating as well. So this kind of piece of you can't take everything that it's saying. It's only as good as the data that is inputted into it. And you still have to kind of cross check it against your own, what you actually want to put out. So I don't know. Does that answer your question?
I suppose, I want to show you something that I did today, but in the light of this final thing before we land this plane, because I'm an artist by heart and I've had to learn to be the business owner. Yeah, most of us, that's why that's why I'm talking to you about this, and I think this is what I want to land the plane on. And there's never been a better time for the artist, especially from an execution standpoint. I was looking at obviously, marketing the book because the book is coming out, and I have 13th of September, Friday the 13th of September is my book launch day. And I picked it because it's Friday the 13th. But anyway, the point is, what I did was I kind of gave it these two screenshots, which is, this is a screenshot of, things to do before launch and after launch. And here's the PDF. And I'm like, here's screenshots of a full 16-week book marketing strategy. Can you read everything I've given you and understand it before I ask you the next question? Whoa. So it's done that. And then it's gone, do you know what lead measures? So I go, do you know what lead measures are and how they differ from lag measures? If you do, can you create lead measures for me to market my book based on the document I shared with you? I have a launch date. My goal is 20,000 book sales in the first year of book launch. Can you incorporate what regular tasks I have to do to achieve my goal?
Nice.
Right? So it gives me lead measures. It gives me daily, weekly, monthly tasks. And then it goes, and then it says ambitious goal. Okay? So you say ambitious. Should I reconsider my goal? So it gives me all these reasons of why it thinks that, this is actually quite an ambitious goal. There's several factors, but it doesn't know me. So I'm like, okay, this is the name of the book and this is who I am. This is my bio. This is for more context. So it gives me, thank you for giving me that. Here is, reasons why this could be, it still says it's a challenging goal, but it's achievable because of your track record. See how it's improving with every more piece of context you're giving it, right? And then I'm like, okay, now here's the whole book manuscript. Based on your recommendations, create me what I'm supposed to do to get my 20,000 sales. So it gives me these 8 things. Then I'm like, can you make a book launch project plan? And it does that, and it creates exactly what to do for those 8 things before time, during time, after time. And I'm like, all right, make me the full thing. And it gave me the date, gave me everything, broke it down into smaller plans. It gave me, lag measures and lead measures, everything. And what I'm trying to say is, how long would this have taken me as a creative and as an artist? What would have happened? Yeah, what would have happened is I would have had this great book that I put my heart and soul into. I would have spent all this money and all this time and all this energy to publish it, and would have not been able to even know or start the idea of marketing the book. And there's so much power right now to the artist if they're willing to take it. I'd love for you to sort of maybe land this plane on empowering the artist to really use what is out there to actually make some of their visions a reality.
Yeah, amazing. Oh, I love that. When I think about an artist and how an artist interacts with the world. And I think about an artist as someone that transforms pain or learning or suffering into service or creation. That's a part of the alchemy of the artist, is to shift something that we have gone through, something that we have suffered through, something that has been meaningful to us, and transform it into some kind of creation, whether it's a book or an art piece or a dance or a song or a business, because it's not necessarily all the traditional creative things. You can be a business artist. And I think about that idea of like transform, like kind of going inside and transforming something that is deeply meaningful and emotive and emotionally connected, and extracting something that is meaningful or beautiful or insightful, and then offering that to the world in a way that, you know, that is a gift to the world in service of expression first and foremost. And I love Rick Rubin and all of his kind of talks about how to do that and the service of that. So often artists end up with all of this art that never gets out into the world and never kind of makes that next level. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because not all art needs to get out into the world. Some of it is just for your own joy. But those pieces, like, you know, you write a book, you want people to read it. And you make an artwork or you make a show or whatever, and you want people to be able to see it. And so if I think kind of back to this yin yang aspect, the artist is really utilizing the yin nature of transforming chaos into something beautiful and offering it as a gift of the heart, right? And so then we, the artist, can more soften into that nature and actually allow yourself to do that, because you know that then the artificial intelligence is actually holding that structure, that Shiva nature of, because that what you just showed me is like, it's very procedural, it's step by step, it's structured, it's dated, it's do this, then this, then this. This is all yang. This is masculine energy that is giving structure and form so that you don't have to think about that. And so then we can actually drop more into the yin nature. This is really interesting what's coming through. It's like we can then drop more into the yin nature of actually just allowing ourselves to express, knowing and trusting that that structure is there, and we could follow that structure to get it out or employ team members to do those things. So, Ronsley Vaz, AI might be the very thing that helps us rebalance our world from this overly masculine world into a more balanced world, if we can trust it. And that is the question. That is the ultimate question, because in order to drop into yin, we actually have to feel safe and trusting to do that. Like as a feminine, as a feminine natured being, that is like one of the truths of feminine nature, is that in order to actually drop into yin, for a woman to drop that masculine aspect, you need to feel safe and supported and protected. And then you can drop into like, the most sensual, expressive, erotic, whatever thing, because you know that you're safe. This is like an interesting piece. If you knew that the structure could be held by the AI, and you knew that, okay, if I do this and this and I just input it and I ask it some questions, it's going to give me the output, and then I could get help on doing those things.
So you're just a human being natural and knowing that the patterns already exist in your nature.
It's interesting, like that piece of aligning to divine and aligning to nature. When I think about that piece of accepting that destruction is a part of creation and creation is a part of destruction. And, people are going down the kind of fear path thinking, oh, it's all destruction. But the flip side of destruction is creation. And so, yes, it's going to destroy a whole bunch of jobs, or all of these things. But what is it going to create in its place? Because nothing, we go back to the principles of energy. No energy is ever created or destroyed.
Destroyed, correct.
So if it's only transformed, then that destruction is creating something of an equal and opposite nature. So what is being created? That's, I think, the question that we want to be focusing on.
Kylie Ryan, this has been a little slice of heaven. Thank you so much.
Joy, Ronsley, to talk with you. It's always a joy to talk with you. Thank you.
Hey, AI Geek. Thanks for listening. Your job doesn't stop here. I want you to lend your voice to the conversation. So you can join those conversations, discussions, new trainings, new recordings, and the rest of the AI Geeks by going to aigeeks.co. Also, share this podcast with a friend, another potential AI geek. Until then, much love.